Okay, so on this little app, we are able to explore the force of attraction between two objects based on their mass. You can see the force of mass 1 on mass 1 by mass 2, and the force on mass 2 by mass 1. But they both read the same amount, 6.3 newtons. As we increase the mass, we can see that the force increases, but the force increases on both. So when two objects interact, they exert the exact same force or feel the same force as the other one. It doesn't matter if one object is smaller and one object is larger, they feel the same force. That's Newton's third law. Now, the other thing that we can observe is that as we move the two objects closer together, the force increases. And as we move the two objects further apart, the force decreases. So what we're going to do today is a little lab, and we're going to investigate the relationship between distance and force and how that changes. So your job is to start by selecting a mass 1 and mass 2. It doesn't really matter what they are. And then you're going to record the forces based on distance and see how the distance affects the force. And we're going to graph it in Desmos. So I'll demonstrate. So let's go ahead and start with, I'll try to keep my distances just whole numbers to keep it simple. So let's start with the distance of 8 kilometers between these two masses, okay? And it says 33.4 newtons. So then I'm going to go to Desmos and record that. Now make sure you log in so that you can save your graph. So I'm going to hit login, continue with Google. You'll do the same thing. And we'll set up our graph before we start graphing. Now the force is going to change based on the distance. So distance is what we're changing. So that's measured in kilometers. And force is what's changing as a result of that. And we're going to measure that in newtons. And now let's go ahead and create a table. And I forgot our first value. So at a distance of 8 kilometers, the force was 33.4. So distance 8, and the force was 33.4. Now you're going to have to adjust your axes in order to see those points. Here's my first point. All right. And now my distance is going to decrease. So I'll drag it down to 7 kilometers. And now my force has increased to 43.6 newtons. Okay, I'll do one more point. Now I'm at 6 kilometers. Notice the distance is measured between the center of one object to the center of mass of the other. And I'm at 59.3 newtons. And I can see that my force is increasing as my distance decreases. So you're going to continue graphing at least 10 values, and then make sure you have your graph labeled. Take a screenshot, make sure your name appears because you're logged in, and then go ahead and turn it in.